Hi guys, Miss Suban here, and I'm going to be showing you and your families how this year is going to work, at least while we're still online. So if you're in Miss Suban's 8th grade math class, one of my classes, you're in the right place. So I'm just going to show you some of the basics. All the school policies will apply for my class, so make sure you watch the admin video. Procedures, just when the students first log in, for the first 5 minutes, they'll see this screen with the day's warm-up, and it will also indicate any special materials needed for class that day. I will always try to give a week's notice if there's anything new that you need, but for the most part, it's just I'll let you know if today you'll need lined paper, today you'll need graph paper, today you'll need your binder, anything like that. But really, it's just going to be a warm-up that they'll work on, and the tardy policy from the school I'm going to be following. So after 10 minutes, if they're not in, I'm going to be moving on from the warm-up, and they're going to be marked tardy. If they miss the warm-up, the only way they can get it is by watching the live stream, which I'll show you how to get to on the class website. Speaking of the class website is where I'm planning on having everything be for each class period. The students have already gotten used to the routine that we will do our warm-up and then I tell them to go to the class website. On a rare occasion, we won't do this, like if we're doing an assessment for the county or anything like that. But for the most part, every day they'll log in to get any materials that they need. So if you're ever absent or if you're not sure what an assignment was in the grade book, find that date and navigate to it in the website. I'm going to go ahead and show you my class website and some of the most important parts. All right. When your student goes into their student view, they'll click on class websites. If it's not my class showing, there should be a drop-down menu. It'll look different on theirs where they can choose their class. Just make sure they switch to me in order to get to my materials. This is our live text website right now as of September 18th. There might be more when you're looking at it now, but just some important things I want to point out. In our general, we have the home page. On the home page, I just have my welcome screen, the syllabus, and my office hours. If you are absent from a class, you will go to general and then streamed classes. In here, you will have a link for whatever period under each date. The links are only good for 72 hours, and you do need the password. If it was further back than the first date shown, unfortunately, the class has expired. So for example, I'm recording this on the Friday here, and the furthest back you can go is Tuesday, and these links still work. Then I have Meet Your Teacher tab. Under Meet Your Teacher, I just have some information about me that I presented the first 2 days of school. Then I put in here a table of contents. The table of contents is for if your student cannot find the notes for a particular day or an activity for a particular day, I have outlined what we've done each day. This screen will start to look really busy, but if you ever need to go back and find an activity from a specific day, or you want to study something, all of the content will be here. Now, the most important thing that your student needs to be able to find is the current unit that we're on. Now, if they forget which unit we're on, they can just go into here and look at the dates. So if I want to go back to what we learned the first week, each day, I skipped the Monday because we didn't do really anything because Synergy was down. But every date, every post, I'll put the date and anything that they need to be able to look at or review. This includes our asynchronous days like Wednesdays. And it also includes the 4 days that we have live classes. I'll try to include any game codes, so if your student cannot get into the live lesson, they can still complete the activities. They'll be marked absent, but they won't miss the material. Missing a day in math class is a big deal, so they need to make sure to catch up when they can. I'm just going to go through each week just to see if there's anything I've posted that's important to share. If there's no school, I'll post that there was no live class. I post answer keys on here. I post expectations for those asynchronous days. Here I have the entire lesson that we did on the Thursday. This is the main format that I'll be doing my lessons, at least for the near future. The reason I like this is that the lessons will never expire because they're something that I have downloaded. Let me go ahead and show you an example of an activity that we did using a BBL stands for bulletin board lesson. So here's the first bulletin board lesson that we did this year. So here's an example of the welcome screen. This is before we had our warm-up sheets. Then the students will be greeted with a bulletin board. That's why I call it a bulletin board lesson. Each of these Post-its has a hyperlink that will lead them to either YouTube to watch a video lesson from me, or it will give them directions on what we're going to be doing, how to head their papers, and then sometimes I'll even include an answer key. I don't want to click on the video because that will open up YouTube, but if I go to today's directions, we can go through and read the scenario that we're going to be doing that day. Because the students are used to having worksheets, I show them how to set up their paper each day. Now, when it's on a bulletin board lesson, most of the time they'll be doing their work on a piece of loose leaf paper and keeping that in their binder. I will indicate on the class website if they will be turning in that piece of paper. So for example, on Friday, the September 11th, let me find that one. On Friday, September 11th, I posted not only the lesson for that day, but I also put on a continuation that Friday's work will be submitted to Dropbox through Student View. If it does not say this, it does not need to be turned into Dropbox. I'm planning on having at least one assignment turned into Student View, whether that's a classwork assignment or warm-ups. I try not to assign homework because I think it's the student's responsibility to finish everything in class for me. That way they can ask for help. And if they fall behind, they can then work after school. But I try to give the lessons only for the selected time, especially because it's going to be difficult with the online learning to work by ourselves. And then finally, the last things I want you to see are the resources. Under resources, I have help with Dropbox. If you do not know how to do Dropbox, I made a video here on how to do your Dropbox. And I also made a PowerPoint that has the steps lined up for you. Lastly, on the class website, I want to show you is that we have a virtual word wall. If there's a word that I'm using that your student does not know, they can come here and click on the word, and it will give them the definition and some examples. That's all I wanted to show you on the class website. Some additional resources is just to let you know, the county has bought Nearpod, which is a way for us to go through a presentation together at the same pace. As far as I know, the login has not been made live yet, but we can still use it. It just won't save our history. Then there's going to be quizzes.com. It's spelled weird because it's a company. I have personally went in and made everyone a login that's identical to their Synergy login. So students will have a history on there. So if they say that they finished a quizzes, they should be able to log in and see it under their completed. But that's all I want to let you know for my class this year. Please feel free to send me a Synergy message if you have any questions. Synergy Mail is just for questions and parent, teacher, and student communication. Please do not submit assignments through a Synergy Mail or my email. Please submit assignments to the Dropbox. And again, the directions for that are on the class page. I'm really excited to meet all your students, and I'm really excited to get through this year together. All right.